Yeah, guys, if this is something that you're like, I need help getting motivated again, shoot us a message. Like, let's chat through it, or like, let's chat at the gym. If you've never actually started your fitness journey, or you've taken a hiatus during your fitness journey and you're ready to get going again, like, we can help with that. Like, we can chat through your goals and we can talk through your why. And I promise that we'll help you celebrate your milestones.
What's up, everybody? I'm Chris Davis here with my wife, Megan Davis, and we are your hosts for the My Blank Fitness Journey podcast. During this podcast, we will reveal the secrets that we have used to help our community become more healthy, fit, and confident, and also hear from some amazing people in our community as they fill in the blank and tell us about their fitness journey. Listen in and be ready to be inspired by our guests who, just like you, are superheroes as we dive into their origin story.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of My Blank Fitness Journey podcast. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of interviewing one of our members, we're going to be doing a deep dive today. So the topic today is going to be how to stay motivated when you don't feel like it. But before we get there, we're going to catch up. So Megan, what's new with you?
I think like the last time that we recorded, we were still reflecting on and finishing up quarterfinals in the open with everyone, which was really fun. So I know for me, it was really fun. I got to do some of those things with some of our members and coaches, and finished a little bit better than I did last year. So that was good. So I feel like anytime you can get older and get better, that's always good, right? And then since then, we've done a sprint triathlon.
By we, she means she did a sprint triathlon.
And one of our coaches. So it was really fun. It was here local, great group of people out there. It was a lot of fun to get to meet everybody and see people in another sport. And then now all of our focus is on Murph. So we're just doing lots of push-ups and
pull-ups and
squats and running. And so, yeah, it's tough, but it's good. So yeah, just enjoying those things. What about you?
Nothing new with my fitness, just less beard. I went ahead and finally decided it was time. Being in the gym, it is sweaty in there, and it is finally shifted from a nice and amazing Florida spring that we don't normally have to sweltering Florida heat that we are in now. And so just losing that 3 or 4 pounds of beard that I cut off, I feel like it's really made my workouts much more enjoyable. So, and like you were saying, we're prepping for Murph. I'm sure that the listeners will be glad when Murph is over, so that way we stop talking about like how hard it's going to be, and it's okay. We're gonna make it through. So,
it's always fun though. Like everyone loves to do it together.
Oh, right, yeah, it's an amazing experience, and like remembering why we're doing it. You know, considering all these fallen veterans and servicemen and women that have given their lives so that way we have the ability to do things like exercise and practice religious freedom and do all the things that we want to be able to do in this amazing country. Like it's great, but you know, the workout is hard, and as CrossFitters, we complain about workouts. It's just kind of what we do. So it's all right. Okay. Okay. There's Murph. So Megan, why don't you hit us with our nutrition tip for the week?
Okay. So as we are going into the summer, I think a lot of people kind of naturally fall into this like change of season. I'm looking forward to a vacation coming up, so I need to get my eating into a little bit better shape. And I want to challenge everyone that rather than thinking about what you should take away, maybe your focus could be on what you can add to your diet. So some examples of things that we see people doing that work really well and have the benefit of improving their diet, but don't have to think about restriction, can think about adding, would be something like adding water, adding more leafy greens, adding more protein, and just adding more whole food items. So some quick examples of that we see, like just in people talking at the gym recently, has been, trying to add a glass of water before they start drinking their coffee in the morning. Or, instead of ordering the rice bowl, they're ordering the salad bowl and then getting the rice on it. That way they're getting more leafy greens in. And then there's even people that are, doing something like their snack in the afternoon, like their normal Pirate's Booty. In order to get more protein in, they're adding like a protein shake to that. Or they're switching their like pack of fruit snacks that they eat with their kids or something to an apple. That way they're getting more whole foods. And so I think that, like I said, it achieves the same thing and it improves your diet, but the focus is not on restriction. The focus is on what can I add? And so it's a lot less stressful, a lot more enjoyable, and a lot more sustainable. So that's our challenge to everyone, is to think about what you can add.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Two thoughts. One, like it's the principle is subtraction by addition, right? So like you're not going to make as many negative choices that are going to impact your fitness and wellness in the negative direction by adding in these things that we know that are good for you. And then two, you talked about Pirate's Booty. What is Pirate's Booty?
Pirate's Booty is it's like Cheetos. So like when we were kids, we had Cheetos. Our kids now have Pirate's Booty.
Oh, so okay. Yeah, it sounds weird if you don't know what it is. Pirate's Booty is like Cheetos.
They're delicious.
And the dust ends up on your furniture because your kids don't know how to use napkins. If your kids are anything like ours. So yeah. Okay. Great tip. So we're going to add in whole foods. Nice work. So like I mentioned, we're going to do our deep dive today on motivation. The thing that kind of sparked this was, we have lots of gym members that have actually been coming to me recently. It was kind of weird, like over the span of just a couple of days, like several people approached me and said, "Hey, Chris, how do you stay motivated?" I don't think they were asking me like personally, how do I stay motivated? It's like for them, like they're feeling a little bit off, something's a little weird, and they're not able to do their normal routine as easily because their motivation has gone down a little bit. And that's super common and super natural and super okay. Like no one is going to be like this 100% motivation all the time. Even the people that you think are there, they're not. Okay, it's a show. They feel the same way that you do. So I don't know if you guys as listeners ever feel this way. I'm sure you do. But if you're feeling like, hey, I had a ton of motivation for New Year's, I had this milestone that I was trying to accomplish, or I had this celebration that I was focused on, it came, it went, so did your motivation. That's okay.
You don't have to wait till next year or next Monday. Like you can do some other things to help, stay motivated without having to wait for that next milestone to come up.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Everybody starts their gym routine or their diet on Monday. So you don't have to wait, like Megan said. So while we're going to be mostly sticking with talking about exercise and nutrition today, know that motivation dominates your life. It's in all sorts of different areas. Like you're going to feel less motivated on some days than others to go to work or like to do your chores around the house or do your homework, wherever the things are that you need to be doing every day. Your motivation is going to come and go. And again, that's okay. You can apply a lot of these same tips. These are not just specific to fitness and wellness, but that's just what we're the experts in. So that's what we're going to be diving into. So we're going to start off with talking through our 3 practical steps that are going to help you guys and us maintain motivation. So Megan, what's the first one you got for us?
Well, I think that like what you said is super important to identify that your motivation is waning a little bit. So once you find yourself at that place, like some things that we see that people really do well with and that we use as well is, first just like setting a goal. And so, when it comes to exercise, like we encourage, people to, train for something. That goal needs to have like a definite deadline to it. It needs to be a SMART goal. That's something I hadn't talked about in a while, but it needs to be specific. It needs to be measurable. It needs to be attainable, like realistic for you. And then it needs to be timely. So it needs to be something that has like a definite end point to it. So training for a competition, or you hear me, like that's what I'm doing. I had, certain things that I was working towards, and that's what keeps me motivated, is knowing that like, on a Wednesday, I don't really feel like, drinking my water or whatever, but I know that Murph is coming. So I'm training towards that. And so it helps me stay motivated to make those good choices. And you need to often reset those goals. So, every time that we have, people coming in, we love to hear what their goals are, what's motivated them to come in. And then, once they've been with us for a while, we, love to hear those goals like accomplished, so we have a lot of people who, have accomplished those goals and they need to reset goals. So, resetting a goal is really important. So when it comes to nutrition, they might have come in with the goal to, lose, 10% of their body weight or something to, maybe get off a medication or something. After being with us with a year, maybe they're off that medication, they need a new goal. And so, it's time to reset one. So goal setting is a huge part of what we do within like the structure of the gym, like as far as just taking care of our members and like knowing what's important to them. But then also like one of the main reasons is because it keeps us motivated. Like it's very motivating to have a goal that you're working towards and that there's a deadline coming up on it. So it kind of gives you that extra little push a lot of times. So that's one of the things that we do. What's another thing that we do?
Well, just piggybacking off of that, like, Megan mentioned, she threw out sign up for a competition. And that's something that's like my go-to when people ask me like, hey, Chris, what should I do to remotivate myself? I'm like, sign up for a competition. Most people are unwilling to sign up for something and go do it and embarrass themselves because they know that they could have done better. And they just chose not to train for it. Or they chose, like if we have Murph coming up and you're doing Murph, you're probably going to not go out and drink beer the night before because you know that you have Murph coming up and it will feel terrible. So having those events, I think, is a super cool way to stay motivated. And it can be anything. It doesn't have to be a CrossFit competition. There's all kinds of things that you can set as that thing. People have used like the hashtag fit at 40 or, your birthday coming up, New Year's, all those things are fine. Just like Megan said, make sure that you're setting an end goal, because I want to lose 20 pounds is not a great goal, because we need to know by when and how are you going to accomplish it? Because it's real easy to lose motivation if we don't have that end date in sight, because indefinite things are like really hard for our mind to stay wrapped around. So
I think that's good. I'm just going to actually add too that like, when you set those goals, like setting the goal is like the first step, right? Like it's something now you're starting to think about a change that you want to make, or maybe a couple of changes that you have to make in order to reach that goal. And that's a process. Like, you have to change is hard, and it's going to mean like just something simple like, I want to get to the gym 3 times a week. Maybe that means that you have to pack your gym bag and bring it to work with you. That's a new thing. And it can take a little bit of time to like get that new habit going, or, it affects your life. And that means that, you have more laundry to do now, so there's little things that like that goal represents. And so that's where like, it gives you opportunities to, be able to connect with other people in the gym, figure out what they're doing to help them get to their goals. It gives you that support, but there's a lot that goes into, reaching a goal. So that's why it's kind of a big one. So, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So number 2, practical step on helping you maintain your motivation is your why. So when I sit down and I meet with people who are interested in joining Triforce, I always ask them, what brings you in? It's usually something like, I want to lose weight, or I want to get off, my blood pressure medication, or I want to feel well, or like I used to exercise and I used to like it, but for whatever reason I don't anymore. And that's okay. And then I ask why. And then I'm like, well, because of this. And then I ask why, and they say because of this. And so your motivation, like the things that really drive you to make behavior change, like exercising or changing what you eat, or getting enough sleep, or doing your mobility work. Like, the things that drive you are going to be multi-layered, and they're going to be deep. Like, the deeper you dive into your whys, the easier it's going to be to stay motivated. Because if we stay super surfacey, those things kind of come and go. And it's like, one of our friends jokes, like, when he's feeling like he needs to drop a few pounds, sometimes instead of actually making the change, he'll just, put on the pants that have the elastic, waistband instead of like the ones that actually fit. There's workarounds, but if you stay focused on those deeper whys, the things that are really inside that either hurt, like there's something that is like, ouch, I don't want to feel that way anymore. Like, maybe when you went to the doctor and they said, hey, you need to lose weight because it's negatively impacting your health in a way that your blood is different now. You have cholesterol issues, and you're like, okay, I don't like that.
It's scary.
Right. I want something different for my life. That's a bigger thing that's going to help keep you. But not everybody has those types of things, and that's okay. So remember, whatever the reason that you started, it's okay to know that thing might change too, because a lot of people that have been coming to me and asking me, how do you stay motivated? They're asking me because they've accomplished their goals, right? So if you set your goal and you accomplish it, and it's like, okay, well, why am I doing this? Well, because I want to invest in me. Okay, well, let me set a new goal that's going to help me invest in me. Or let me set a new goal that's going to help me be more healthy, fit, and confident. Like whatever your thing is, knowing that we've got to stay rooted in the big driving factor.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Yep.
So like when it comes to like remembering your why, because like there's gonna be times that you're not motivated, like you've set the goal, but you're like, I don't really care about that goal anymore. And so like I think your why like helps you care about the goal, and actually finish it. But like I think like you've mentioned before that there's like a couple different ways to like stay motivated with your why. Like there's internal and external things that help you with that. So can you like explain a little bit about that a little bit more?
Yeah. So she's talking about intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, right? So intrinsic motivation is this feeling that you have that you enjoy doing whatever you're doing, and you're going to stay motivated to do the thing that you set out to do because it's fun or because you enjoy it, or there's just something inside of you that's like, I am going to do this. Okay. This is going to sound crazy, but there are people that actually enjoy running. Like not for exercise, not because they're being chased, but because they like the feeling of running. I'm unfamiliar with that. I've heard of people that are that way. You're not that way either, though. No. Okay. But some people are, and so they have this desire to go run because they feel well. The other things I mentioned are extrinsic factors. Oh crap! I'm being chased by a bear. Yeah, that's extrinsic motivation for me to stay alive. So I'm going to run. Or we have Murph coming up and I don't want the run to take me 20 minutes. That's extrinsic motivation. Knowing that there's going to be a combination of those things, hopefully we can get to where just exercise and healthy living are intrinsically motivating to us. There are things that I'm like, yeah, I like feeling well. I like sleeping well at night because I've exercised, or I like the way that, another thing is like eating a salad can be really delicious. It can, like the crispiness, the flavors, the textures, like can all be really nice. There's going to be times though, where you're like, I know I need to eat a salad because I, know that I'm going to enjoy a treat later. So I'm just going to balance it out by eating a salad. So having the balance of those intrinsic and extrinsic factors are okay. And knowing that nobody in the world is ever fully intrinsically motivated. There's always like, you don't have to feel bad because you don't have this thing inside of you that drives you like to want to go to the gym. It's okay. But you're going to find that motivation stays much more steady if I have some of those things that I find that I enjoy. And that's why I tell everybody that like is thinking about joining the gym is like, hey, do this for 12 weeks. If you don't like it at the end, that's okay. Like, let me help you find something that you do enjoy. Because even if CrossFit is the most effective thing for helping them accomplish their goals, like uncover their whys, dive in and do the things that they want to do, if there's no enjoyment there, it's probably not the right fit. There's probably something that would be better for them, right?
Yeah.
So
I think that's a great point.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So step 2 was make sure that you're uncovering your whys and reestablishing those, seeing if they've changed at all, and just putting those kind of like in the forefront of your mind as that anchor of why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Why you're working towards the goal in the first place, and know that it might take a combination, that it will likely take a combination of internal and external things to help you to stay with that. So there are a lot of layers to staying motivated. So one of the things that I love is like weekly. This is number 3 is we try to weekly have a time where we let people celebrate their successes, because progress, it helps you remember the progress that you are making, because you have short-term goals and you have long-term goals. And if you wait until you accomplish the goal to celebrate, then sometimes it can take a while. And so I think that, remembering all the little steps, like I said, like there's a lot of steps that go into making changes or to reaching goals, and remembering that progress is going to lead to more motivation, because progress leads to motivation. And so sometimes just like setting aside a little bit of time to do that. And then also like celebrating with other people. Maybe you haven't had a lot of progress or you can't remember anything. I can be really hard on myself, and I can't think like with quarterfinals, I was like, I'm really like, when you see all the other athletes, you're like, wow, there are so many amazing athletes out here. And you're like, my numbers are not good. Right. And then you're like, wait, but the point is to remember like what my progress is. So the way that like I felt motivated to set a new goal, like to work towards something else, was Chris helped me remember like, oh, you did better than you did last year. So it was like, oh, cool. So like seeing that progress helped me stay motivated to keep working on stuff. But without that, I might have kind of felt bad about a couple of things and maybe had gotten down on it, maybe unmotivated, without thinking about that progress. So I think it's something that helps me a lot.
Yeah, it drives me crazy when I'm at the gym, when I'm coaching, and we get done, like, let's say we get done doing a lift, and like, I see the person kind of like shrugging their shoulders and their head goes down, and it's like, hey, what's wrong? Like, well, I wanted to hit 100 pounds. I was like, okay, that's okay. I mean, like, you're working towards it. What'd you get today? I got 95 pounds. I'm like, okay, that's only 5 pounds off. What was your best lift before? 75 pounds. It's like, are you serious? Like, you're not excited about setting a 20-pound personal record? Like, you're frustrated that I get not getting exactly where you wanted to hit, but celebrate those successes along the way, or else
you'll get there.
Right. You're working your way there. Don't give up because you didn't get the thing that time. Like, if you are not proud of your progress along the way, you will fall off 100%, because it's too hard to hit big goals if you are not like celebrating the small goals along the way. Going back to the first point, like having those short-term attainable goals that are helping you achieve those long-term goals is super important. And the other thing is like, so we do Bright Spot Fridays in the group, in our Facebook group for our gym. And so it's everybody's opportunity to brag on themselves. Number one, like the 2 reasons that we do that. Number one is for people to do what we're talking about, is to have an opportunity to like kind of check in and reflect on, okay, maybe I didn't hit the long-term goal that I wanted, but I've made progress. There's something to celebrate this week, even if it is drinking an extra ounce of water every day. Like, the smallest changes can make a big impact. So number one, like celebrating those milestones, but number 2, you never know when something you say, like you celebrating something, is going to spark motivation in other people, because we are highly like a community-based people. And so we can feed off the energy of others. And so if I post on the group, hey, everybody, tell me about your week. What was something to celebrate? And we get 100 comments and everybody's like, I did this, I accomplished this. Like, that really fires me up. And it's not in a competitive way. I'm not like, I have to go beat them or they did this. And I'm like, it's like, it's awesome to see people accomplishing things. And we've all like listened to the motivational speech or like turned on that song that like really gets you going. You're like, yeah, I'm ready now. That can, like, you posting or like you celebrating your accomplishments can help somebody else. It can be that pump up song for somebody else to say, okay, Chris did it, I'm going to go do it too.
Oh, for sure. Like, that's definitely my favorite. I look forward to that post on Fridays and like reading everybody's progress, because to me, like, seeing what people are accomplishing, it keeps me going. I'm like, because it reminds you that you're not alone, right? Like, and that there's always something to celebrate. And like, I think that positivity, that gratitude, that like celebrate, like we mutually suffer together. So let's mutually like celebrate together too. And I think it's really fun. One of the things I love is that we have the PR bell in the gym as well. So that when you do reach some of those big milestones, like everybody wants to celebrate with you because we're all working towards something. And so like, we know, like, if you ring that PR bell, we know that it represents like a lot of things that you've worked hard for. And like, we're looking forward to our turn of like ringing the bell, but like everyone loves it when someone in the class gets to go ring the bell. And like, yeah, I think that celebrating those successes, that progress along the way, that it really does lead to more motivation, and it leads to like other people's motivation as well, not just for yourself. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I know there was something so speaking of like other people influencing you, like I know there was something that you taught me early on. Like, we were first married, he would like schedule to like do exercise when we're on vacation or something. Like, we got married in college. And so like we would be like on winter break and he's like, looking up gyms in the area where we're going to visit family. And I'm like, why? Like, why don't we just like sleep and eat the whole time, And he's like, because, like, I know that if I do these things, I stay disciplined to do my exercises, get to the gym, that I feel a lot better. And he was a student athlete, so he had, goals, and I didn't have any goals. But it was like a really positive thing on me. And so you kind of shared with me kind of how you viewed, like, I guess that continuum. Like, can you share with everyone else?
Yeah, absolutely. So, this motivation, like staying focused on your why and be working towards your goal. Just having those things isn't necessarily enough to be excited all the time, but knowing that you have to get them done, like you're set out, like I'm setting forth to do this thing, to accomplish this goal because of my why. There's going to be varied levels of enjoyment during that process, right? So this is very like, this goes back to like spiritual practices for us, for me, like reading my Bible or praying. Like, there's times that I don't want to do those things. Just straight up with you guys, like there's plenty of times that I wake up, I'm like, well, I'm okay, I don't need to read my Bible today. But I know that I need to do it, and so I do it. So on that side, we have duty. I'm going to accomplish, I'm going to go do the thing that I set out to do because I know that I need to do it. On the other end, there's delight, where I love it so much. I love exercising so much that I'm just going to do it. It's that intrinsic, like, it's deeply rooted in like overflowing joy that I get from it. And then there's desire in the middle, where I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm wanting to do it more either because I know that I need to do it, or because I know that I'm going to eventually really love doing it. So as long as we're staying on that duty, desire, and delight continuum, we're working towards our goals. It's really when we fall off of that continuum and we're no longer working that becomes the issue. So just like, know that even when you're not motivated, if you've set up that goal, I've got to go do it. I'm going to do it out of duty. I'm going to put a frown on my face. I'm going to set my alarm clock for 4:30 in the morning, and I'm going to eat my banana on the way. I'm going to show up, and I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm going to be
Grumpy cat.
pouty. Yeah. Grumpy cat. But I'm going to do it. And then like probably in a week or so, you're like, okay, I mean, that was kind of fun. Like those people were really nice, you know, like you come in with your coffee, probably still kind of grumbly, but like maybe like,
Coach Ronnie's playing your jams.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, okay, like this is okay. And then eventually, like, it's like you have a smile on your face when you set your alarm clock for 4:30 in the morning. Like that's impressive. You're delighting in it. So,
or you're looking at the workout the night before.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Thinking about it.
Right. And I know if you've never been there with exercise, I know that sounds crazy, but think about something in your life that like you've had that transformation with from duty to desire to delight. And know that can like, you can get there with exercise or with nutrition or with these other healthy habits that you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, for sure. It was helpful for me just to kind of have that picture and know that it was okay as long as I didn't fall off, right? Like that it was okay that I wasn't excited about being there, you know, on my vacation from school, but that I was there and that was okay. And it led to me like switching my mindset from, I can't believe I have to do this, to like, all right, like I'm here, you know, like I kind of want to do it, to like, I get to do it, and like actually having excitement about it. And I would say too, like you said, that's really something that I do with other disciplines as well. Like, you know, read my Bible or, you know, praying and stuff. It's like, sometimes it's hard. And then other times I remember like how good it makes me feel and like how much I need it. And that I'm really thankful that, you know, I had internal and external things helping me along the way to, you know, get back to that place where I really enjoy it. And then I see those benefits that way. So yeah. I know that motivation is not an easy thing. It's, and I think that like just having some, like those things to focus on, like helps me when I'm feeling really overwhelmed by not being motivated. And, you know, so focusing on a goal or setting a new goal if I need to, you know, focusing on my why so that I actually keep working towards the goal, and then celebrating the progress along the way, you know, really helps me again, kind of get to that end goal and enjoy the process. And I think that that's like, when I see people coming to the gym, like there's so many people that I can think of, you know who you are, like, you're like, I am never going to do a pull-up. I don't love to run. Like, I don't like to sweat. Like they come in with, you know, these things that like, you know, this is where I'm at. And now we see them 1 year, 2 year, 3 years later, and they're like leading the pack, like that goes and runs after class, or, you know, they're doing extra work, you know, working towards things. It's super fun to see that like they have put the work in, you know, they've built support systems, they've accomplished goals, and now they're actually just like enjoying their fitness. Like, you know, if they go out to eat together and, you know, we laugh, like they'll tell me like, we all just talked about CrossFit while we were at dinner. And I'm like, oh, great. We're like living up to the reputation of CrossFitters. But like, it's really fun to like see people like that they didn't know they're going to be able to enjoy exercise as much, like being able to enjoy it, you know, and like, it won't always be like that. So, you know, enjoying those times and then relying on those other factors to help you get back to those times when life happens and it gets hard and you fall off a little bit, like knowing that you can get back to it and that there are like kind of approaches to doing that to help yourself along the way. So yeah, I think it's been helpful for me for sure. And I hope it is for you too.
Yeah, guys, if this is something that you're like, I need help getting motivated again, shoot us a message, like let's chat through it, or like let's chat at the gym. If you've never actually started your fitness journey, or you've taken a hiatus during your fitness journey and you're ready to get going again, like we can help with that. Like we can chat through your goals and we can talk through your why. And I promise that we'll help you celebrate your milestones. If you're somebody that is crushing it right now, great job. Enjoy this time where you're feeling highly motivated and really like, the phrase of strike while the iron's hot. While you're highly motivated and you have that delight, enjoy it and celebrate it and
bring other people along with you.
Yeah, exactly. Drag the people that are in their duty stage to drag them along, because we all are there sometimes, and we all need you where you're at right now to help us put that smile on our face again. So yeah, awesome guys. Well, like I said, this is a little bit of a different setup. Let us know what you think. If it looks weird with us sitting next to each other, I don't know.
We're kind of same-siders normally. So
we are same-siders. If we go on a date, we sit on the same side. Like the waiters automatically, or waitresses, put the menus on opposite sides of the table, and we go sit next to each other. It's cute. I don't even remember why we started. Oh yeah. Anyways, different episode. Next week we'll be back with another awesome interview. We're going to intersperse these throughout the season. Some deep dives. If there's other questions or other things that you're like, hey, let's talk about this deep philosophical thing, or let's talk about this specific exercise, or why should we eat cruciferous vegetables? We can get into any of those things, and we can really dive deep and keep you guys informed. Hopefully that's what we did today. We informed you, we motivated you, we taught you how to motivate yourself and how to motivate others. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, on whatever platform you're watching this or listening to this, hit the like or subscribe button, notification bell if you're on YouTube, share it with your friends or family members that you're like, hey, bro, you need some motivation. Here you go. Because again, we're all in this together. Help them along the way. So thank you guys for listening, for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of My Blank Fitness Journey podcast. If this story inspired you, make sure that you like and subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're using. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can check us out at triforcecrossfit.com. Just send us a message and we'd love to help you. See you guys soon on the next episode.